20 on me, case emergency. Ain't no cap in my rap. Real I know it's the truck. More profit mean extra. Emerald white out full of pressure. That cereal milk smoking right. But that Obama rant some special. Kansas City, I'm a chiefer. Shout out to K5 on new one. Country thuggin', I was hustling. I always had it on me. Booming like OJ the Juice. Till a nigga told on me. From now on, it's relentless. Ain't no love, we ain't friendly. If she want me on him. No the law, she get the business. No the law, still the motto. Empire.
Hello. Welcome in. It's the Birds of the Feather podcast with your boy Q City.
Your boy Taj Bravado.
And this is episode 35, Mo QBs Mo Problems. So we're going to check last week versus the Titans, look at next week versus the Vikings, figure out what's happening in the division, have some exciting news for Give Me Props, and then City Talk at the end. So come along with us and enjoy this ride. Taj, my man. So we are coming off a 28-23 loss versus the rookie Will Levis led Tennessee Titans.
That was a rookie?
Right? Just they couldn't tell. But man, I saw, like I said, they're in my neck of the woods. I went to the game. I was excited to see my boys come to town. And for which is what has been consistent for one half of football, they didn't show up. And then the second half, they tried Mountain to come back and just fell a little short. It was a crap of a game, to be completely honest. There's no two ways around that. But you know, we're gonna get in all three phases. But bro, tell me what you thought about the game.
It was honestly Tennessee. I mean, I knew Tennessee had a good defense.
Yes.
But I might have underestimated how dominant their D-line is.
Was their D-line that dominant, or was our O-line just completely overmatched?
I mean, that's domination, ain't it?
I mean, just like, bro, Dahlman had a crap of a day, bro. Our center, what was he on, bro?
You can't put it on the center because they was doing what they wanted to do with everybody.
No. I'm saying just in particular, when I point out the line, he was getting run over. Like there was one play, I think I texted you. That was McGarry though. That was McGarry. It was tough. It was long. Simmons literally threw him like a PlayStation controller, bro. Like it was tough. And like you could say, like, oh, the whistle had sounded or what? No, man. He threw that man across the room like he just got perfect fatality in Mortal Kombat 1. Like it was tough. It was Lindstrom? Lindstrom had a hell of a day. Surprisingly, and I say surprisingly because he gave up 2 sacks. He gave up 1 sack. Landry was on the other side when the other sack happened. But Jake Matthews actually had a halfway decent game. And Bergeron, he allowed a lot of pressures, but no sacks. It was tough.
They went against a D-line that's a bad match for them.
In every sense of the word.
Yeah, that's just a bad match. Because the Titans weren't really allowing any run yards to begin with, but they were able to get after the quarterback to the tune of 5 sacks in the first half. I want to say 6 or 7 total.
6 total.
Like, I mean, good thing is we don't see Jeffrey Simmons at all for like at least hopefully another 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, because he only got 2 sacks, but he created like another 2 just by his presence, and then like he could have easily had 4.
Yeah, he showed the hell could have.
So like
it was just bad.
It was all bad. Like literally, the D line took over the game. Now, when I go You break it down all three levels, right? But obviously, the offense is the big crux of it. But like, I'm gonna take it on the two different routes, and then we'll end up at the
I
offense.
can't even say the offense is the big crux of it. I'm going to say special teams was the biggest issue that game.
That is exactly where I wanted to start. It is three phases to the game. There is complementary football. Our special teams fucked us consistently. Like,
Mike
just
Hughes, more specifically.
bro, he couldn't get on the bus. He couldn't get on the bus to the airport, bro. What are you doing catching the ball at the two? What are you
Where's your
doing at
awareness?
the two?
Nothing you have done this season warrants you trying to take that out there. Like, no.
Nothing. And then like this Stonehouse guy is a freaking monster. Like his punts were just pinpoint. It was part of it like okay, but then another part of it is like we had dumbass fielding decisions. We 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 let a ball bounce at the we let a ball bounce at the 12 that we should have ran up and caught. We caught a ball at the two that we let go. One of the most egregious ones was Keith Smith catching the over the shoulder um, pass on the kickoff.
Yeah.
What are we? Bro, you let that go out of bounds or it goes into the end zone. It's not going to dead stop. And if it does dead stop, you just jump on it. But you let that ball bounce. What are we like? This is little league stuff, bro.
Yeah.
This is
Yep.
little league, and I felt like our special teams put us in just a consistently bad situation. And I'm not saying that to excuse Ritter, but
Listen,
if you're playing within the shadow of your end zone, all like you're starting at the shadow of your end zone all day long, like to score, you have to at minimum gain 60 yards to score. You're gonna look like a bad offense.
because like I know what Ritter's average, like, because outside of that fumble that where we started at the 20 or wherever the 27, Ritter's average drive start was at like the 12.
Yeah, all day, all
It's
day.
like it's just like you always pin back. It's like it's very hard to get drives going when like you and then penalties and then
You can't have deep drops. You can't have everything's got to be quick. Everything's got to be out because like you can't risk like you saw toward the end of the half. They tried to do like a five-step drop in a deep developing route and dude got smacked and like you know I to be honest, I think that's the play that caused the concussion like symptoms because like his head straight up like he got bear hugged down
oh
to the
yeah,
ground, and
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think he was holding the ball there. That was just kind of like a longer developing route, and you're in the shadow of your own end zone. You can't afford a safety,
right,
especially not when Point was at a premium in that game prior to our defense just completely shitting the bed.
right, yeah. 'Cause, you know they're typically the defense is typically good for one, but it just and even on that one, Gene Sabator came on the air and said it was pass interference.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go to the grave on that first one was OPI.
It
The first
was
one,
because this
there's
man put
nothing.
him in a headlock, spun him around, and then went to go get the ball.
Yeah, that first one was OPI, and the fact that it wasn't called was just absolutely egregious. Like the whole stadium was holding their breath. Like you even seen D Hop turned around and looked when it happened because he was like, "Oh, they didn't call it," and then started
It,
celebrating. Like no, it was that was OPI. That was clearly OPI. Now, the second one on the drag route that he just like we
that
just
was
didn't
just a good
tackle.
play.
Yeah, we just didn't tackle. Spun into the end zone. Then the third one, um,
Richie Grant big.
just got burnt. Just got burnt on the sluggo, and that was like a how are you? And I remember saying to the guy next to me, Crazy part, Cowboys fan. He was watching the Cowboys and Rams game on his phone. I'm like, bro, you're at the stadium, but whatever. I remember telling him what made that play so bad is that we rushed three. We had 8 in coverage on that third touchdown, bro.
Yeah, this man just walks down the field.
You got like you can't let anybody get deeper than your deepest man. Like you got to get deeper than the deepest man. Like what are you biting on a slant for, bro? You got help. You got help. It was just it was all bad there. And then like the rollout to the side, throw across your body, freaking Bates getting beat. That was kind of like the cherry on top right there.
That was a.
Of just like
Now,
this is a bad
I'll
ball.
give credit where credit's due. That was a pretty ass ball.
It was a pretty no. I wanted to talk about him because as much as I want to crap on the defense, there was a point in time that Will Levis was viewed as the number one pick overall in the draft, right? Come after his junior year, and like him coming back to school kind of pushed him down draft boards, right? So much so they end up getting drafted in the second round. Now it's one game. You hadn't seen him play before. You really could only go on college tape. You know what I'm saying? In preseason tape. Okay,
Just went some
you know that's fine. But the guy looked good. Guy looked good. I can't take that from him.
Look damn good. We ain't our pass defense been on point.
Our
Now
defense had
maybe
that's why it was so depressing to see this game.
this game, what it feels like across the board, it feels like they didn't take this game seriously.
And you said it, and like at first, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, oh, we're making excuses or whatever. But like when you go back and look at the tape on it, right? Like even the YouTube tapes or whatever, like people are already putting out. Atlanta is like literally cheating and biting on every single route
Yeah,
that Tennessee's doing. Their 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 linebackers have so much movement on the run actions, and it does look like y'all don't think that this man could play. Y'all don't think that this quarterback, y'all don't think fat meat is greasy. Like y'all don't think this QB can sit back here and dice y'all up.
and he
Even
did it.
after now, I kind of get it from a defensive perspective because like everybody knew that first one was OPI, right? So it's like there's 7 points on the board, but we ain't give up a touchdown.
Right.
You feel me? Like it's 7 points up there, but we ain't really give up no touchdown. Like that was a terrible call.
Yeah.
Like, and then on the second touchdown drive, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't make no crazy throws. It was more so it was the fumble, right? The
Yeah.
second touchdown,
Yeah.
yeah, the second touchdown was the fumble. Derrick Henry ran the ball, got down there. He made one play action pass to Okamwo or whatever his name is, 85, the
Yeah.
tight end, and then you caught D Hop on the crossing route. So then it's like, okay, hey, the offense put us in a bad position. All right, you know, Atlanta gets another field goal. They're able to move the ball down the field. It's like, okay, it's a one possession game. You know what I'm saying? After that third touchdown, like there was one pass, bro. There was one pass that the tight end dropped that there was not a guy within 15 yards.
Oh yeah. It was. We got.
There was not one guy within 15 yards because of the linebacker movement off that play action.
Yeah, that was bad.
And the tight end dropped it. You know what I'm saying? But like he would have that was a 40-yard game. That was a 40-yard game. And it's like, yo, why are you this aggressive? Especially when he's been burning you on the play action, especially when the offensive philosophy matches what you practice against. It matches what you practice against, bro.
It's just.
It was all bad. It was
Yeah,
all bad.
every level, offense, defense, special teams.
The fact that off that Malik Willis turnover, we only got 3 kind of set the tone for the day. And they said that they were gonna play him. Man played like 2 snaps. He fumbled the ball, and then he got like one more run play in later.
Yeah, it was all Levis, and I think it's gonna be Levis the rest of the way.
I don't see any reason you will go back to Tannehill. He's actually on the trade block at this point. If we're being honest,
No,
um,
I think he's just gonna be a free agent after the year.
and they'll just let him ride out. Honestly, they'll just let him ride out. They were going to move on from him anyway, and I think they were looking to give Levis a year of seasoning. But like, it's one of those things. Why wait, man? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, like and it's such that Malik Willis never really got a chance.
no. And now that's just like this third round pick. That's just like hopefully, maybe prayerfully, you can flip him for a 6 or 7. But what's probably going to happen is he's just going to be your backup for the next 3 years or 2 years, and then he'll fall off.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, got a 4-year contract. His rookie year was last year. He'll be your backup. Look, they're going to carry 3 QBs, so like, and that hell, you better hope you improve enough to be a backup for the next 2 years because your play style isn't like similar to Levis, so they could be looking to go get like a veteran backup like we did, where it's like I need somebody who kind of fits the play style a little more.
Yeah, I can definitely see him doing that.
Yeah, but like hopefully you improve enough and you can just be a backup for the next 2 years. Then it won't
That's
feel like you kind of wasted that third round pick.
right. Yeah, that's what the hope is. But like,
All right.
hold on.
Feel like we avoided it long enough. Let's get to it. Ritter was 8 of 12 for 71 yards, lost a fumble, generated 3 points. Heineke was 12 of 21 for 175, touchdown, generated 20 points.
Yeah.
I just honest. That's how the offense is supposed to look with a real NFL quarterback in there, right? Here's the thing. And a lot of people don't want to admit or hear this, but whatever. Heineke may give us the best chance to win to like Sunday versus the Vikings, right? May give us the best chance to win Sunday versus the Vikings, but he is not a franchise quarterback. And that's not saying that Ritter is. It's not saying that Ritter is, but like, Heineke's not. And I feel like we're going to run into this place where because our division is so bad and we have a chance to win it, we're going to sacrifice the long-term gain for short-term benefit.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think, bro.
That's what it feels like it's gonna happen. But I hope Arthur just has a little more sense than that. Like, yeah, okay. Let me backtrack a little. Then we said this is what the offense is supposed to look like. Throughout the whole season, this offense has yet to put together 2 solid halves of offense.
Doesn't happen. It does not happen.
So it's like, who just say that Ritter doesn't come out there and do the same thing that Heineke does in the second half?
He wasn't seeing the field. He really wasn't.
But there are times where he doesn't. Even in the London game, he wasn't seeing the field in the first half. But then he came out second half, he was on point. There's no game where Ritter has played bad from start to end. There's always been flashes. There's also been no game where he's been played good start. Well, this one game he plays good. This one game where he played good start. It's like I do think Arthur Smith used the concussion thing is just I think that fumble and then the sack he took on the drive because he just handed the ball off 2 times and just said, "Fuck it, we just gonna go to half." Normally, he would have been more aggressive trying to get points.
No, now here's the thing. Because I was texting you and I was like, yo, like Heineke warming up. I think they making the switch, this and that. But then I remember telling you, like, well, hold on, they took his helmet. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
most guys when they get benched, it don't matter. Like when you get benched, you still keep your helmet because like everybody is one play away.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like they could have put Heineke out there. Simmons could have smashed him up like he was smashing you up, and you'd be right back out there.
right.
You know, like, but they took his helmet, and so that's why I'm like, and then like you think back on like there was that one sack he got bear hugged that he literally head smacked the ground. So
Yeah,
like I understand where they're like, okay, maybe concussion like symptoms. You know what I'm saying? Of just like we're gonna err on the side of caution there. So I don't think it was completely made up, but I do think that he may not have had a concussion, but it was easy to go ahead and say, like it wasn't like a hey, you think you can tough it out and play? It was like, you know what? Nah, go ahead, sit down. We're just gonna go ahead to Taylor.
oh, yeah. It's it's a weird situation because it's like you got the thing where it's hurt and everyone's like, "Oh, he's in concussion protocol," and then you find out he cleared it. But then, I mean, there's plenty of times where people wouldn't clear concussion protocol, but they're still not themselves, and they still might actually have one. Um,
What's his name? He was on the Scott Van Pelt ESPN, and he
yeah,
was talking about Purdy. He was on Scott Van Pelt ESPN. He was talking about Purdy, and he was saying like quarterback is a position to where like even if you clear concussion protocol, if you're a little bit foggy, your whole job is reading and processing information. And if you're half a second off, it's going to look really bad.
you know
And
what? You right because I'm what you think you say you think Ritter took the concussion on the what was it the play action where he kind of was stepping and then dude just wrapped him up and just boom right there. So it happened with like relatively early in the second quarter, I think.
it was about no, it was like midway through. It was like 9 minutes left in the quarter.
So, yeah, because like after that, it's just he might have just been out of it from that point.
Yeah. And you know, you can I've had concussions. You can operate with a concussion. And
Yeah,
this is
where you
not to
just not
excuse for
not
him or
at
whatever.
tip top. Yeah,
Hmm?
you got operate, you just not at tip top, or you just a slight delay. Just
Yeah, it's like a lag. It's just and not to make excuses for him or nothing. You know, if you're healthy enough to go out there and play, then you're expected to perform. But just like I look at the run game. Bijan didn't get off today. He had one really good run in the third that kind of pumped his total up a little bit, but he was 11 for 62. Algier was 8 for 31. Peterson, I think, was 2 for like 7. Like the run game didn't get going.
no, that's not
London,
really on the running backs. That's just the defense.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying like the majority of whatever the offense was going to produce was going to be on the passing game.
No, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And it's like London had a decent game, right? Like 5 for 55, but he ended up getting knocked out, you
right.
know. And then Van Jefferson, that drop was. But everybody will talk about the drop, but like Heineke had enough room to get that first down. Heineke
Mm.
had enough room on the third down play to get that first down, and he slid way too early, which puts you in a fourth down situation.
I remember as the quarterback, you still got to protect yourself.
Which I understand, but like third down, go ahead and get the first, bro. Go ahead and get the first, cause you put the ball not you put the ball in. He delivered it. I don't think the ball was too hot. I think it was just he was starting to run before he caught the ball, and he turned, and the ball didn't turn with him. So,
was behind
but
him
that
too.
it was a little bit. It was a little bit. It
Man,
wasn't. But like all that, if that's a first down play, it doesn't hurt you. It isn't as deflating if that's a first down play.
yeah, still
Like
can't
if
happen the
you
first day.
first down and then that happened on first, all right, we still continue to drive. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. It's just I felt like he could have got that first down there, and he just came up a little short. But like that's him, and not saying like oh that's a he's a terrible player or whatever. But like that's a microcosm of the quarterback that everybody's kind of clamoring to go to. Is that like there's gonna be times where he just doesn't have situational awareness and comes up short.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
there's a lot of guys. You know it. You know it. You plugged in with the fan base as well that are just like, oh, see, we need to go to Heineke. We should go to Heineke, this and that. And like these were the same people that were like holding off on starting Ritter last year because Mariota was winning us a game or two here or there. And it's like not having a long-term view is just like it's bad for the franchise, bro. It because my thing is if you go to whenever you do go to Heineke,
It's
it's
all right
over. Like
because like yeah, it's all right. I think no matter what, you don't make Heineke your starter unless
I
Ritter gets
think
hurt.
get rid of it here
Because what's this year number 3, right?
for Arthur.
If yeah, this year 3.
Yeah,
So if Arthur replaces Ritter, this is your 4th quarterback in 3 years.
yeah.
You drafted this quarterback in the 3rd round, hyped him up all off season. Desmond's the guy, all it is that, and then you quit on him after 8 games. Like
Now to be fair, he has 12 turnovers in 8 games. That shit is rough.
he does, and it is
That is
rough.
like I want to say, and you can't always use Patrick Mahomes as like a. I would even use somebody like shit Dak. You know what I'm saying? Dak played what was it, 12 games last year because he missed 4, and he had 18 turnovers. You know what I'm saying? So he had 18 and 12 games, but like he also had a very high number of pass yards and was accountable for a lot of touchdowns. And like Ritter doesn't necessarily counteract his turnovers with scores.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that's 100% on him.
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna sit here and act like there aren't other factors. I just think that like it's one of those things. It's one of those things that like I think that knee jerk reaction that people have of yo, this quarterback look good. Let's go ahead and switch him. You're not actually thinking about all of the facets around it, right? Because like the second you make Heineke your starter, Ritter isn't on the trade block. Ritter isn't. He might not be a backup for you next year, which means you just wasted a third round pick. Because reasonably, you wouldn't keep him as your backup. You're going to draft somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Or you're going to go look for somebody in free agency, and then Heineke will be your backup next year.
I think he would still be the backup.
I don't see them keeping him. You know what I'm saying? Like it's no reason to.
I don't
You're
see
not in.
him. The thing is, he's even he's still a capable backup. They're not
which
gonna
he
just
made.
they're not gonna cut bait because it's not like he's just been absolutely horrible. He just turns the ball over.
That is absolutely horrible,
No,
bro.
it is not because it's not. Because the thing is, young quarterbacks, not all of them, but a lot of young quarterbacks are gonna make turnovers. The thing is, all of his turnovers are fixable.
I feel like you can only keep saying that so much week after week. I'm saying from a coaching standpoint. Like you can only keep saying like, oh, all we have to do, all we have to do, all we have to do. And like this was the game where I feel like we if we're being honest, we should have had 14 points in the first quarter, or at minimum 10. 14 points in the first half, or a minimum 10, right? And we ended with 6. Okay, cool. In the second half, all the times we've been talking about points actually being realized, I don't feel like we left any points on the table in the second half, right? And like that as a coach is really hard to ignore when
But
you feel like, damn, I might have made a mistake with the guy, you
but
know?
that also goes back to what I said earlier. Is in this offense as a whole has been a team of two halves. So you can't sit here and say that Ritter couldn't have came out the second half and been sharp because there's been plenty of times where he has. It's just I think it's a play calling thing. I think it's because the thing is like sometimes he might call things to where the quarterback don't have to hold his balls on to get things out quicker. Because Heineke didn't have to throw like they weren't really calling up the deep shots for hit for what's it called. And then sometimes when you're a quarterback, a coach might overload you with rules that they won't do with a veteran. Because the thing is, we are purely spectators, so we don't know the intricacies of offense. We don't know the rules. We don't know what's what. But I know veterans tend to have different rules than younger guys. So it's like, yeah, you could look at this second half and be like, oh, yeah, Heineke came in and he looked way better, but he hasn't shown anything that Ritter hasn't done. What he did in the second half, it was nothing mind blowing. It doesn't that we haven't seen Ritter do it. Like, the thing is, Heineke might have the higher floor than Ritter, but Ritter has the higher ceiling. The baseline of what you get from Heineke, and the thing is, Heineke is prone to turnover too.
No, Heineke is what he is. I'm never
So,
like
so, so
people saying like, "Oh, you have to be our guy" or whatever. Like you've never truly watched football because if you
yeah,
know, then you know that Heineke is not a franchise quarterback.
he's
That's why
not.
Washington.
I'm not even talking about franchise. Fuck the franchise part. I'm just talking about just baseline. You, baseline. These two guys pretty much give you the same thing, except Ritter has a higher ceiling because
Which is why I hope, like I said 2 weeks ago, he's earned, and I struggle using the word earned, but like you should see him through the season. Now, if at the end of the season you want to make a determination that like, hey, this ain't it, or even if you get to about, even if you play like 12, 13 games and you're 6-6 or 6-7 or 7-6, and that you don't want the division to get away from you, and he just consistently keeps turning the ball over like this, okay, fine. You know what I'm saying? That at that point in time, you've got 17 games out of him. You know who he is, and you're saying you can't win with him. Pull the plug. Cool. But like, and I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm not like a huge Ritter fan or anything, but like, it's too soon to go to Heineke for the rest of the season right now.
yeah,
Because and I'm only saying it because like once you make the switch, you can't go back.
because the confidence is shot.
It's over. It's over. Like it's one of those you gotta really, okay, hey, it's not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not just saying And I think that's where I look at it. You're not just saying that Ritter is not your starter for the season. You're saying Ritter is not the guy. Like he is not like we are in the market for a quarterback. And that's a lot of statements there, you know?
I mean, it's subjective.
I mean, what you think he could sit him down for the rest of the season and he starts next season?
I don't know what their plans are. Because the thing is, say Heineke plays and they make the playoffs. Well, you're out of range for any of the other for any of the quarterbacks you would want. There's only two quarterbacks that I objectively view as better than Ritter as a prospect. Um, Free agents. The only free agent I probably would have been interested in is Kirk Cousins, but he's coming off a torn Achilles. Um, I mean, Ryan Tannehill could be an option.
And sadly, I think that is where this story is going to end. But like we'll discuss that a little bit more in City Talk.
So it's just like, I mean, yeah, you could have been Ritter, but there is a world where he could end up being a starter again next year.
You want to know what's the crazy part, bro?
What's that?
This is people really taking Matt Ryan for granted, bro.
Oh no, I've always
This,
said that.
this is 95% of most NFL fan bases, bro.
Yeah, people wanted to ridicule and Matt Ryan ain't this, Matt Ryan ain't that, blase blah. It's just like, but Matt Ryan's the greatest quarterback that our franchise has known, and probably will know for a good little bit.
Because I feel like we're falling into the rut of being too good to get a superstar, right? And like
Yeah,
not being
now we're
enough to
like the
ever be
teams, like the Commanders, the team, like we're in limbo. Like
the
we're literally in
Lions.
limbo. Well, no,
You
the
know,
Lions got to
prior,
put some respect on
I was
Jared
saying
Goff
prior,
now.
yeah, I was saying prior to this season,
But
like
even prior to the season, the Lions were just bad. They were never too good to get a quarterback. They were just bad.
yeah, but like when they had
So,
Matt Stafford, he used to win between 7 and 9 games all the
but
time.
but
Just
Stafford was a
screwed
good
themselves out
quarterback.
of it. Huh?
Stafford was a good quarterback though.
No, what he was, but I'm saying they would just screw themselves out of a good pick every single year. Like if there's a bomb D tackle in the draft, they would win just enough games to miss him. Like we're kind of in that category.
But the Lions are a perennial top 10 pick.
We're reaching that status now to where we're gonna like win between 7 and 9 games every year.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think we're ever gonna buy like the year before we got Matt Ryan was a terrible fucking year, bro. Like it was such a bad.
Well, that was just a shit show because Vic goes to jail, Petrino leaves like a thief in the night. It like shout out to Joey Harrington and Chris Redman and all the people that put in time during that season, but it was bad.
Like it was terrible, but landed you Matt Ryan. Ritter's not that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like and so because of that, and because like he has his faults, but Arthur Smith is a decent enough coach. He's gonna win you 7 to 9 games. Last 2 seasons have been 7. Like this year, through 8 games, you're at 4 wins. Like even if you play 500 ball for the rest of the year, like you're 9 and 8, be 9 and 8 or 8 and 9, one of the two. Like you're not top 10. And drafting Michael Penix at 16 doesn't necessarily put you in any better position.
Michael Penix is basically left-handed Ritter.
And I just think like, that old adage, if you got two quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. And I think that's where I almost hate that Heineke got on the field because now it's even a conversation. But like Ritter should start the rest of the year. And if
He
you
should.
have any type of team building experience, that's the only decision you need to make. Which and I get it that the coach may be diametrically opposed to that because like his job is to win games now, But
The
yeah,
thing is, Arthur Smith is a smart person. You don't get to be a head coach without having some type of smarts. You knew the risk of starting Ritter. And sure, that's probably why you went out and got a quarterback like Heineke. But at the same time, if you truly want to develop this quarterback, you have to stick through this season.
you gotta let him play.
If you truly believe in this quarterback, you have a lot of confidence and all that stuff that you say, you have to see this season through. The only reason why he would probably seemingly abort playing is Arthur Blank's like, hey, this ain't looking like what I thought it was going to look like. What's going on?
Yeah. Now if direction comes from upstairs, hey, everybody got a boss, but
Yeah,
he should get the rest of the season.
he should. He definitely should.
So with that being the case, let's go ahead and look, and we'll see whatever quarterback starts next week versus the Vikings.
Yeah, well, we're recording this on Tuesday, so we'll know for sure tomorrow.
So we are headed up to Skull Town next week. Battle of the 4-4 teams. The Minnesota Vikings started off really, really slow to start the season, but now worked their way up to 4-4. Uh, Sadly, Kirk Cousins was playing some of the best football of his career, touchdown wise, touchdown interception ratio, yards. Even with Justin Jefferson out, dude was balling, and like you pointed out for the season, torn Achilles. So we'll most likely be facing another rookie in Jaron Hall from BYU.
Hmm.
This should not
Well,
be a game we lose.
it shouldn't be. Jan Hall's not exactly a lot because they did trade for Joshua Dobbs.
No, no, they came out and they said Hall's gonna start
Oh,
this week because Dobbs won't be up to snuff.
okay.
So and like that's strictly a bridge move. I think they gave a 7 for Josh Dobbs and a 6 or something
Hmm.
like that. I might have the picks mixed
Yeah, I'm
mixed
pretty
around.
sure it's something. It's probably like they gave the 7. No, they probably give it for 6 and Dobbs in the 7th.
Yeah. I might have the picks flipped around, but like that was, for your starter for the rest of the year. It's not a terrible thing. But the Vikings are
Oh
just
no.
going to play this out at this point. Like they're. I'm surprised they weren't more active on the trade deadline because, like, bro, I'd have sold off Harrison Smith. I'd have sold off what's their pass rusher's name?
Hunter, Daniel Hunter.
Hunter. Like I would have that linebacker that they got, bro. I'm selling. You know what I'm saying? Because like, bro, the season's a dub. But with like, so I feel like it can go one or two ways. That first game after a really deflating injury like that, y'all could pack it in and be done for the season, or it could like bring the team together and we get like a renewed fire from their team. Even still, we should be able to win this game. And I'm gonna go under the assumption that Ritter is starting and that London's gonna be healthy enough to play. Bro, I'm actually putting this score out here. This is a 30-14 type of game, bro.
Um,
I
it
know
would
that sounds like a lot of bro. This is a 30-14 type of game.
it would make sense, especially if Ritter does end up starting, because you would like to see him come out strong, coming off adversity. Because like this is really his first real adversity since he's been in the NFL. So you would like to see him, you know, really just have a strong bounce back game. Will it happen? It remains to be seen. Will the opportunity be there? That also remains to be seen. But yeah, if he gets opportunity, I do expect to see the offense look good. I expect the defense to bounce back because there's no way we let two rookie quarterbacks go off on us, right?
Not back to back. Not back to back.
So I think we'll be.
Now I will say,
I think
Minnesota.
I think they needed that game.
You said what?
I think they needed that game though.
Versus the Titans?
Like, yeah, they needed that loss in that fashion. They needed it.
I I don't know. I think they do, especially on the defensive side of the ball, because I think it's easy when you have losses that you can explain away to the other side of the ball, right? And what we got on this pod week after week after week. Oh, the defense is doing their job. Our offense is doing this. Defense is doing their job. Our offense doing that. We are not so stupid as to think these aren't the same conversations that are happening in the locker rooms and in the team meetings,
Oh yeah,
right? And you may have a point there that this is the first week that the defense can have a meeting and say, y'all let us down. Y'all let us down. How you played did not put us in a position to win that game. And the offense didn't have a crazy amount of turnovers or whatnot. They had one fumble, you know.
yeah.
So you may be right there. When I look for the Vikings, through the Vikings, right? O'Connell, former Rams coordinator, is with them when they won the Super Bowl and whatnot. Dude is super pass happy. I don't know how that changes with Kirk out, right? Like, I don't expect Jaron Hall to just be slinging it all over the yard like that. On defense, they have a really good defense, especially a very good run defense. And it's to be expected because guess who their defensive coordinator is? Freaking
Brian
Brian.
Flores.
I
So
was
it's
just,
gonna be man heavy and cup and quarters.
man, all day long. And Ritter very much struggled against that type of look in Jacksonville.
He
So
struggles versus man in general. He doesn't really leverage as well as you would like.
and that's especially necessary when you have bigger body targets because they're not going to separate as much with speed. You know what I'm saying? Like it. So this, but even still, I expect a lot of pocket movement, right, to help
Hmm.
create leverage and separation on like across the field routes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's my plan to attack this defense. Uh, they got Mike Pettin as an assistant coach, so a little bit of a homecoming there.
You said
Uh,
who?
Mike Pettin,
Hmm. I don't remember him, so I'm just gonna.
he was an offensive coach a while back under Mike Smith.
Oh yeah, I don't remember nobody from that.
So a little bit of a homecoming for him, and then just me, a personal thing. Um, the reason I started watching, like the first player I remember watching football was Barry Sanders, right? That's why like the second team that I watch a lot is the Lions because like I remember Barry Sanders. But like my favorite player ever was Keenan McCardell because my grandma liked the Jaguars, and so like he's one of the first people I remember. And he's the wide receivers coach for the Vikings. And my first thought was like, that's why Jefferson Jefferson's so damn good, bro. You got Keenan McCardell
No,
back
this guy.
there. But no, I am excited to see what the wide receivers do. Obviously, with the absence of their big guy, I think this kind of epitomizes what's going on in the league. There's so many injuries, and like this team is so injury riddled right now. And not that you wish injury on anybody, but like, yo, when the gazelle is wounded, the lions go hunt, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't a team you play around with. This isn't somebody that you kind of string along for a bit and you let them stay in the game. This is a put your foot on the throat type of game.
Yeah, got to.
And that's why I have the score so high, because like I don't think the Vikings stay in this game for long, even at home. And that's another piece about it. They've got a rookie QB, they're
Well, we're
facing
at
a lot
home.
of adversity. Huh?
We're at home.
We're at home. So that's what I'm saying. They got a rookie QB facing a lot of adversity. Like, crowd's gonna be rocking. You don't let them stay in the game. You don't let them stay in the game. Did I say they were at home? I flipped
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
No, my fault. But like, you don't let them stay in the game. You have every advantage and opportunity to have this game over by midway through the second quarter, right?
We
To
do,
like
but darn,
24
this
24/7, and like, it don't even seem that close. And then you add 2 field goals in the second half after they score a touchdown. 30-14, bro.
it sounds good, but like I said a week or two ago, Arthur Smith hasn't shown that propensity.
So he hasn't, but me and you have broken down. And like, that's why it's another reason, I respect you, because you actually watch the film, you watch the games, like you watch the games and then you watch film. You know what I'm saying? And like, you can honestly say scoring 24 points a game is not a stretch for this offense.
It's not.
It's not a stretch for this offense. They've been in this position multiple times. So, and that's against decent opponents. I felt like, the only game I honestly felt like we never had a chance to score that many was the Lions game, right? Like, even the Jags game, I felt like we had the opportunity to score at least 21 to 24 points there, right? Like, this is a lesser opponent. This is an opponent that, like, when we talked last week, we talked about the Titans being a mirror, right? Like, very much the same team. That's not what you're lining up against. You know what I'm saying? You got Harrison Smith in the secondary. He's a monster. You got Danielle Hunter on the line. He's a monster. You have no offensive weapon that should scare you. You just don't. Madison
I
has
mean,
not ran the ball effectively this year. Uh, the wide receiver number 3, he's nasty, but they got to get him the ball.
yeah. But the thing is, this game is going to start with their defense. Um, Minnesota has the 11th ranked defense.
They've got a good defense. They have a hell of a defense.
So it's like we yes, offensively things should go our way, but we cannot get short sighted and overlook that they do have a defense over there. They get after the quarterback well. Danielle Hunter is going to have his way with Caleb McGarry. It's and then they got a what's the boy name from the Saints
Their linebacker.
Davenport. There we go. Davenport. So like they got Davenport. Like you got two solid edge rushers, and then they're a man every team. So we don't really have the receivers to separate from man. So it, it's gonna be a tighter game than I think.
But like, that's why you gotta lean on man beater concepts, bro. Curls,
Yeah, man.
digs.
I mean, yeah, you do, but it's like it's if you're not creating consistent separation, because even with those, you still got to create separation.
Yeah, my thing is, those concepts, like the play action dig. I keep coming back to it because like that is Ritter's best throw,
It is,
right?
but
The
well,
play action dig. powerful linebacker, bro. Whether they bite on it or not, he can get that ball in there. He's got a strong arm. I like it. And it doesn't like even in a man-heavy concept, that corner's gonna be 1 or 2 yards behind you, right? You fit that ball in there. When you look at the curl routes, right? He's developed such a rapport with London specifically that like those curl routes are on point. Don't stay away from the slants this game. Stay away from the slants this game. You're not going to get a lot of separation. You're going to be running into linebackers that ain't biting on play actions. And it seems like the only time you want to freaking call a slant is when you do an RPO, so you're checking out of a run, which like you're basically reading the linebacker at the last second. Stupid, but it's what you want to do, right? Stay away from longer developing routes. We shouldn't have no sluggos. We shouldn't have no nines this game. You know what I'm saying? Like it is set up perfectly, especially if your defense is going to come out there and play like they've been playing all year, to not let these dudes be in this game for a long period of time. This should be like a homecoming, bro.
So I get what you're saying, but the problem with what you're saying, just throw nothing on developing, nothing, no slants, nothing like that. Then the defense could just sit on everything because they're not going to do this, so we're just going to sit on that. They're going to sit because Flores, man, but he likes to blitz too.
And I'm praying that they blitz and you get creative in your run game because you're gonna pop them. Like this is the week for Bijan to go bananas.
It could be
because you're the Vikings pass blitz, so their run defense ranked very high, right? But it's kind of like it's not fool's gold, I would say. It's just that like for a certain amount of time, their pass defense was really low. It's come up in the past weeks, you know what I'm saying? But they played like Love and they played somebody else that was like just a bad quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So like the passing numbers have come up a bit, but their pass defense was kind of ranked low, and it's because like they were blitzing kind of irregularly, and it was causing really big plays on the back end, right? So Flores is from what I've seen, he's kind of overcorrected a bit. So he's pass blitzing. If that's the case, and you can get this blocked up with a misdirection, bro, Bijan should have a field day. He should have a field day, which is why I'm saying if your run game is going properly and your pass game is complementing your run game rather than like being the focal point of your offense, bro, I'm firmly believe you should score 30 points this game.
You should, but up to this point,
we haven't shown it. We haven't
yeah,
shown it.
we haven't had a complimentary offense because whenever our pass game is going, the run game is not, and when the run game is going, the pass game is. I don't know what this offense looks like when both are going, and until that happens, this offense can't take the next step. No matter who is at quarterback.
Absolutely true. But let's find out what's going on in the division. That was it. Next we're gonna look at in division. So as of right now, we're at the top of the division at 4-4. Obviously coming off a loss versus the Titans. Next week versus the Vikings, who just won against the Packers. Next in our division, the Saints, 4-4. They're coming off a win versus the Colts. They're facing the Bears next, who looked absolutely terrible. You got the Bucks third in the division, 3-4. Just had a loss to the Bills on Thursday night, and their next game is versus the Texans at 3-4. Speaking of the Texans, they gave the Panthers their first win of the season. They're 1-6 right now, and their next game is versus those same Colts that lost. Right now, today, we might have the worst division in football. But we also have the opportunity to win the division. And there's a juxtaposition there, you know what I'm saying, that goes along with that. But ultimately, like, you can only play the games that you're scheduled to play. And we're in position to win the games that we're scheduled to play and really win this division.
Yeah, we just gotta take care of business. Can we do it? I believe so. Will we do it? That's all I'm saying.
That is the difference. It's the will, right? So like we still have 2 games versus Saints. We got another game versus the Bucks, another game versus the Panthers, right? So that's 4 games left right there.
Yeah.
We got the Vikings. That should be a win, right?
See,
And
after
then we
last week, I'm not confident in the shoes anymore.
at all, at all. But we had the Vikings and we still got the Bears. That's 6 games right there.
Hey, just remember that this Vikings team beat the Niners, so
We still got the Colts to play, right?
yeah,
From the AFC South, we still got the
and
Colts
they're
to
a
play.
solid team.
Uh, that's 7 games, and we're missing 2. Well, it'll be the where did we finish? We finished third in
No,
the
I think
division last year. It'll be the third in the division from the NFC West and the NFC East. Or
Cardinals.
not, we face the Commanders. So it'll be the third
Cardinals.
it'll be the Cardinals and the third team in the
That's it.
NFC.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Cause that, yeah.
So like if you look at that, right? That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're missing 1 team. We're missing 1 game.
No, because we're about to play 9 right here. So that not 8, 9, and 17.
Yeah, we only played 8 games.
Yeah, Minnesota's gonna be what's it called? So we got
Minnesota's going to be 9.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. You're right. No, the Jets.
Oh, well, yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was about to say like we have one random ass game since we moved to 17, but yes, we faced the Jets, which yeah hell that defense is crazy, but their offense is absolutely anemic. But not to get too far ahead of ourselves, right? We've reached 8 games into the season, so like reasonably, we got to start looking at the playoff picture, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at it, Eagles 1, uh, Lions 2, Seahawks 3, and right now we sit as the 4th seed, right? If we were to move into the wild card, we are tied for the 7th seed with the Vikings and Saints. Obviously you get down to like NFC record, AFC losses, et cetera, et cetera. But just wins and losses wise, we're tied with those 2 teams. If we were to fall out of the lead in the division, it is super critical that we win the division because I don't see us getting in as a wild card.
Yeah,
What about you?
no. I mean, you always want to win the division.
Always.
Um, but like in NFC, is like there any one particular division that's like dominating? I mean, like the NFC East, they got the 2 teams. But just,
I think the West is going to get 2 teams in the Seahawks and
with the Seahawks.
Niners.
I honestly look at the Seahawks as like on our level. The Lions are running away with the North. We could like there's wild. What is it? 3 wild card teams they get in. Oh no, hold on.
Well, right
Yeah,
now, so
it's three non-division winners.
yeah.
So
So right now, Philly's gonna it looks like Philly's gonna win their division, right? And you expect the Cowboys in. That's 2. The Seahawks or Niners are gonna win their division, and
Not
then
even
whoever
gonna
else is
go
going
there.
to be,
Yeah.
5 or 6. That's 4. Then you got the Lions are going to be 5, and then do you expect 2 teams out of the NFC South? That seems really ambitious when
I
you
don't.
have,
It's, I mean, it's
yeah,
possible depending on what the Buccaneers do, but
you got the Rams, Commanders, and Bucks all got 3 wins. You know what I'm saying? And the Commanders got the tiebreaker versus us. Yeah,
yeah,
so it's almost like
they got the tiebreaker versus us, and they broke our heart.
yeah, it's just all bad. But it's like, if you fall into that situation, you already have the tiebreaker loss against them. It's looking like you said, not one team is dominant. I think as we go into the back half of the season and have a bunch of division games, that's going to do a lot to shaping out exactly what it looks like, right?
Yeah,
Like what this playoff record
yeah.
looks like. But I would feel much more comfortable knowing you won your division to get that home game.
I mean, you definitely want that. There's always a goal.
And the difference, like you said, you feel like Seattle's on our level. There's a huge difference between going to Seattle and Seattle coming to you.
So yeah, that cross country trip is no joke.
Because I mean, like, I don't see I see the NFC South winner as a 4 seed, right? So like if you get in as a 7 seed, hell, you'll probably be going to Philly. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't see Atlanta getting in as a 6 seed. I don't see them having a better record than the second team in the NFC West or the Cowboys. Like, so you get in as a 7 seed, you're probably going to Philly. Or you can have Dallas come to you, San Fran come to you, or Seattle come to you. That those are completely different games. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel, I feel like Dallas jumps on people, but like every time that we've seen them just completely jump on people, it's been at home.
yeah. But
You know what I'm saying?
there's only like there's only one team I was like truly scared of, and that's Philly.
Yeah,
Everybody else seems mortal. Philly, even when they look mortal, it's still hard to beat them.
yeah. They're like even when they play bad, they be winning, and I think
Yeah,
that's really a sign of a good team.
because the thing is like this: Jalen Hurts, he's objectively playing kind of bad, but if the team is so good, it doesn't matter.
And I would love a situation where you know Detroit ends up playing San Fran and gets knocked out. You know what I'm saying? And then you have a like San Fran will go to Philly in the second round. You know what I'm saying? Like if things shape up like how they are right now, you got
Mhm.
Philly at 1, Seattle at 2, or Philly at 1, the Lions at 2, Seattle at 3, um, Seattle at 3, and then us at 4. Philly gets the bye. Uh, who goes to Detroit? 7 goes to Detroit. So right now it would be the Saints. The Saints goes to Detroit. Uh, Dallas comes to us, and San Fran goes to Seattle. Right? If you keep that as is, the winner of if any wild card team wins, they go to Philly. I think San Fran can beat Seattle. I think uh, I think Detroit beats the Saints, and I would pick us to beat Dallas. That sets that sets up us facing Detroit in the second round as a rematch, but then Philly facing San Fran. I don't love our chances against either one of those teams, but I feel like if we face Dallas again, we have a chance or opportunity to beat them.
See,
Hmm.
I was confident versus the 49ers until I remember they also added Chase Young.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, and I don't feel like that those names of teams are going to change too much because, like, when I look at it, the teams that aren't in the picture right now, the Panthers are terrible, the Bears are terrible, the Cardinals are terrible, the Giants are terrible, the Commanders ain't that good, Rams ain't that good, Packers are terrible, and the Bucks ain't that great, right? So, like, I think that list of 7 teams isn't going to change too much.
It should, yeah, it should.
And
I
I
mean,
think
the, I
with the
mean,
Kirk Cousins injury, the Vikings are going to fall out of it.
yeah, should. I mean, it's a dangerous game counting your chickens before they hatch, but
So as we continue to go forward, I think it is incredibly important that we keep in mind each of these wins is gonna push us to winning a division.
and that's what you want.
Next, we
Yeah,
got some exciting news about Gimme Props. Check it out. So every week we've been trying to drop a betting pod on Friday. We're going to record it the night before. We'll have our props out. We'll keep track of our season totals, and it's going to give you guys more content. We're looking forward to dropping a betting pod every single Friday for the rest of the season. What you got, my man, Bravado?
okay, man. Yeah, we gonna bring it, and we gonna doing it on a Friday. It allows us to expand on other sports, you know. So yeah, the football
Absolutely.
season's only so long, but we gonna have content for you all year long. So you know, just keep rocking with us. We gonna get you right.
And we're looking forward to dropping the basketball pod as well. So you guys come on back. We're going to make that a standalone episode and be able to release it for you guys. Always hit that like, subscribe button, all those things. It helps us out tremendously. Very much appreciate any and all support that we've been receiving on this journey. Um, Definitely want to be more consistent with putting this stuff out for y'all, but I think this commitment will show y'all that like we want to put stuff out for y'all because like the support we do have, we very much appreciate.
Oh yeah, we definitely do. Because without y'all, we couldn't do what we do. So we just want to just get more content out there and just show you we appreciate you. And we'll probably try to find ways just to incorporate y'all a little more into things. So you know, just stay tuned for updates, and we got y'all.
One way that we always like to incorporate city talk, please reach out to us on socials, hit the DMs, give us topics. But as right now, we just come up with topics. So on the city talk. Main thing that we want to talk about, obviously doing the pod on Tuesday, the trade deadline moves. We were not overly active in the trade deadline outside of an injury replacement. What were your thoughts on kind of our stagnation and then the moves that were made?
Um, you know, with our defense, we have a good defense, but we have a what I say a glaring need at edge rusher. And you know, there were a couple that were available. They went for really relatively affordable prices, and we didn't get either of them. Um, it's as a fan, you know, it's hard to be understanding in these times. But this is where you just kind of have faith in the people who are paid to do their job.
I get that. I think for me, it was like you spent the third rounder on Zach Harrison this past year. You drafted Caden Ellis. You invested in the D line. I could understand not wanting to give up a third round pick, but like, bro, the ability to get elite talent for a third round pick doesn't happen super often. You know what I'm saying? And like the Sweat going for a 3 and Chase going for a 3, that hurts. That hurts. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It
and
doesn't,
then like I get sweat. I get sweat because that Bears pick is basically a late two.
bro.
You know,
We got our bid on that one. That it is what it
there's
is.
nothing you can do there.
But
But
with the Niners, you can't.
that was. But here's my thing. Maybe so. Here's what I was thinking with the Niners. We got outbid with sweat. Maybe we did not value Chase Young. That's the only way I can see that being able to patent. Because the Niners aren't going to have a good third round pick. They've already won 5 games. They're not going to have a great third round pick. That's going to be picked 83, 84, somewhere in
Somewhere
there.
along the lines.
Huh?
Yeah, somewhere along the lines.
Yeah. Like you're not going to have a great pick. And so, like, there's barely any difference between pick 83 and pick 79. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it, it's not too much of a difference. So for me, I feel like a third round pick for Young was never offered.
And I'm just curious as
And
to
then for me, I would want to go
why.
like, well, why aren't you valuing Chase Young?
Because my thing is like, why would you offer a third for one and then be like, I don't want that? Like, did you feel more confident in your ability to re-sign one over the other, or was it something else?
Well, yeah, I feel like with Montez Sweat, his age, one is a big factor. Like Chase is obviously looking to break the bag. You know what I'm saying? Like break the bank and get the bag. I mean, Jesus is getting late, but like he's obviously looking to make a boatload of cash. And he, frankly, if you want to keep it just straight G real, does not have the production to back up the number he's going to ask for, which is why Washington was willing to part ways with.
I mean, but the thing is, like, look, Chaser is 24, Swift 27. They are both trying to get paid. Like, it's an edge rusher. The market for a guy, because Swift averages what about 6 to 8 sacks a year.
Yeah, but Sweat, this will be his third contract. No one
This is his third
goes
contract.
bananas. Hmm?
Is it? Is this really his third contract?
If you're drafted at he's drafted at 21, wasn't he?
Um,
Pretty sure they didn't pick up his 5th-year option. Let's check it out.
he was drafted at 19. I don't know that much. Um,
Yeah, we looking this up in real time, people. So, oh, he's from Stone Mountain too.
he was
He should have
drafted in
came here.
20. Yeah, he's from here. He was drafted in 2019. So no, this is he's going
Nah,
to a
this
second
this will be his
contract.
first contract. This will
Yeah,
be a second contract. So he is
yeah,
looking.
they're both going to cash in.
My God. So what? He was 22 when he got drafted. That makes sense. So yeah, nah, he's gonna be looking to make, but he doesn't. He's not gonna break the bank. He's not.
Are you
I
sure?
don't feel like he's. I don't feel like that's a JJ or a TJ Watt 120 million, 60 to 70 guaranteed type of contract. I don't see that for him.
But this is like, why would you give up more capital? Like, it's not really making sense because it seems like more teams were in on him.
Well, I feel like
Like,
Sweat was more just like more of a proven commodity. And if they were going to move off a pass rusher, he was obviously disgruntled after that Giants game. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the
is he
fact that
really?
the Bears
But
got
how?
him for,
Like, I'm having a hard time with that. Like, I like Sweat, and I did want Sweat for a third round pick. I would have loved to have taken him, but for a second round pick for a guy that has
that's
never
tough.
what there's never top 8 sacks. I don't believe. Or he hasn't been 9. Like he's never been a double digit sack guy.
Nah, he's got 36 sacks over these 5 years. So
He's never been a double digit sack guy.
no, I like him. I like him for a 3. I like him for the 3. I
For
wouldn't
three,
have spent the 2. I wouldn't have spent the 2 on him.
so
Like
it's just
let's
yeah.
not go crazy. Like I would not have spent the 2 on him.
No,
But like
but I say that, but then pass rushers get paid because like look what Bradley Chubb got.
and that's a bad contract. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
But the thing is that that shows someone's out there willing to pay it.
yeah, yeah. But
Because Montez Sweat, because like Bradley Chubb had one good year, but other than that, Bradley Chubb and Montez Sweat are basically in the same area.
category in terms of pass rusher.
So Montez Sweat's looking at Bradley Chubb's contract like, oh, he can get 100+ mil. Oh, I can get that too. So he's gonna break the bank.
I to be honest with you, I'd franchise him for a year. And the Bears hold that right. But like that's another part of trading for him, right? So had you gave up the third, Ritter's on a rookie contract. You're barely paying Heineke anything. Calais is coming off the books next year. You're gonna have to make a decision on Grady in a couple years. Like if you were to invest, I would probably I wouldn't go franchise tag if I gave up a third. If I gave up a fourth, I might go franchise tag. But if I gave up a third, I would already have like a contract in place, hard set. Like I'm not like regardless of your production for the rest of the season, like 3 to 5 years, probably 20 to 23 a year
Now
AAV.
I get what you're
No,
saying.
20 to 23 a year AAV, but close to
I get
like
what you said, but you lost when you said regardless of production because players ain't going for that.
no, he's not. He's not. But I'm saying like from a front office perspective, like what you're saying, like, hey, this is the number I'm going to put on the paper, and I'm not going to go above. But that's something you have to be comfortable with when you give up
Yeah,
the draft capital. You
I
know
mean
what I'm saying?
that is, but there's also like saying like yeah okay boom this will and then the dude goes out and gives you a sack every game, and now you looking like he's like yeah I'm not signing it and you gonna have to come with some more.
Yeah, yeah. But like that's when you that's what the franchise tag is made for. You know what I'm saying? That's when you adjust your plan. You know what I'm saying? But like you already got to have a framework in mind for what you want to sign a guy to when you trade for him in the last year of your contract.
You gotta have definitely gotta have the idea of what you want, but it's hard. When you trade for a guy
Well,
that
you can
still
because you can get
has
enamored. You can get enamored by like half a year production. You know what I'm saying? You start to extrapolate it out. And you're like, oh, he's amazing in our system, and we need him for this and we need him for that. And then you sign a guy long term, and then like you deal with him for an offseason, and he comes back, and then now he's on this really big contract that like he is not living up to because he had 8 good games. Like, no. And I get it from a player perspective of like, you know, I had 8 good games in your system on your team. Somebody gonna pay me. If it ain't gonna be you, it's gonna be somebody else. But like from a front office perspective, you got to be able to be willing to like not go above a number. And that has to be factored in, which is why I'm really glad they didn't give up a second. You know what I'm saying? Because like there has to be a number that you're saying in your mind, look, regardless, I'm not going above.
well,
And if I don't go above it and I franchise you, I have to be comfortable losing you in a year, right? Which means, like just let's just say, like I'm not able to resign you after next year. I have to be comfortable with getting 25 games of production out of you. Whereas for a second round pick, I'm expecting a cost controlled starter for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm expecting uh 68 games of production at a very low cost controlled point, and I'm only going to get 25 out of you. That's you got to weigh that out. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm like, for a third round, it's like you could be a starter or you could be a rotational piece. You know what I'm saying? How many third rounders don't end up seeing the field consistently or even become impact players? You know what I'm saying? So like, would I trade that for 25 games of
Typically, don't
production? Yeah.
typically the third round guys do.
Hmm?
At least that's the plan. At least.
Yeah, third rounders, you want those guys to see the field at some point. But would I give away a guy I want to see the field at some point, 68 games, cost controlled, for 25 games of like actual production on somebody I know is going to play on the field, or I at least have the thought process is going to play on the field? Yeah, yeah. Like I'd make that trade there. It's basically like if this happened a year ago, would I trade Montez Sweat this season and half of next season for Zach Harrison? Probably. Probably. Like it's an apples to apples comparison. He chose to be in that spot. What has he done for you through 8 games? What would have been different if you had Montez Sweat production for those 8 games, then you had him for the rest of this year and half of next year. But conversely, you don't have Zach Harrison for the last 2 years of his contract at a very team friendly number, right? It's the dance with the devil you got to play there.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So for me, that's why it's
It's
like
something anyway.
getting outbid there. Like you got a hard
No,
number. Like I can't
no,
give you a two.
I'm not upset that we got outbid. Like I can.
Yeah.
It's just, I
But
was
that
just
that
more
leads me to
so.
be like, I don't think they value Chase Young. Like because I can't imagine that a three was on the table from us and a three was on the table with the Niners and you chose to go with the three from the Niners. That's because like it was nothing extra. It wasn't like a 3 and a 5, a 3 and a 7. It was just a three.
Well, I do know it's a conditional pick though.
And hey, maybe that was the kicker. They weren't willing to go conditional. They were like, hey, this is a hard three. You take it or not.
It's still disappointing, but it is what it is.
I think another disappointing point is the fact that we have lost one of our team captains, one of our best all-time Falcons greats. Fight with your mama, not me. Grady Jarrett tore his ACL, and that's a kick in the nads, bro. Like I hate that for him, but I think it speaks to like, yo, this has been an injury-filled season for the league, man.
I don't feel injuries are any higher. It's just the bigger players, and I don't feel injuries are any higher.
And I think that's true, but I think when it hits the stars consistently, it does kind of make it feel like, damn, this season's like going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at the actual rate of injury, um, or type of injury, it may not be too much different. But like when you just think about it, it's like quarterbacks, like Aaron Rodgers is out. Justin Fields cracked his thumb. Matt Stafford hurt his thumb. Kirk Cousins popped his Achilles. Like two Achilles injuries to quarterbacks in the same year is crazy work. Like that's I can't remember the last time I seen something like that.
Oh yeah, I mean it happens. I mean that's all part of the sport that we love is injuries, and it's very unfortunate.
They are, and but I think it does allow opportunities to get to see more players to and then I also think that's where coaching tends to shine through, right? Where it's like how to scheme around some of your better players not being in the game. And I think that's what separates maybe some of the average teams from the great teams, or even the bad
Yeah,
teams from the average to good teams.
and I think that's also why the Falcons went out and got Contavious Street from the Eagles because he was with Ryan Nielsen in New Orleans. So that's another familiar face that's familiar with he's familiar with what Ryan Nelson wants out of a D line.
And
So
the
then we
crazy
pick,
part, bro,
yeah.
even with that super deep Philly line, he had to start this year.
Yeah. Oh no. The dude got some game. I feel like a lot of people like I seen some people talking about is he going to be able to replace Grady? Don't look at it
No,
like that. You're going to be
no.
setting yourself up for disappointment. All you want to know is this can he give you some production? As long as he gives you some production, that's fine with me. Do not go in there expecting Grady level production because you just going to be upsetting yourself. So
And
appreciate the man for what he is. Don't try to compare him to Grady. Don't be like, oh, this he's not Grady. No.
it is not too many D tackles that is Grady, bro. Like Grady played inside, Grady played outside, like taking on double teams. Like he's always had consistent sack numbers. Not consistent sack numbers, but like
Bro,
consistent tackle for loss
there
numbers.
we go.
Like
Because it's like around the
Grady is a
league,
dog, bro.
yeah, because like around the league, like the NFL players, a lot of them, like they look at him in the same realm. Well, not quite the same realm, but they look at him almost like an Aaron Donald type.
Like right below him. Like
Like
right, but
right below. It
when
is
it
the
comes
only
to
thing
best
is
D tackles,
he don't have the sack production that Aaron Donald does, but as far as they do a lot of the same things as far as on the field, he don't got the sack protection. But you're not
and
blocking
he's
either one of them 1-on-1. They both have elite quick steps to both. Like they're both at the top of the field what they do.
and there was a like Aaron Donald's clearing away number one. You know what I'm saying? But until Chris Jones started having the immense playoff success that he was having, there was a very good conversation that Grady Jarrett was the second best D tackle in the league. Like that conversation was happening. Let's not act like that it wasn't. When we talked about all pro AJ, it was we have two solid pieces on our defense. Like we don't have anything at the linebacker core at the time. And it's just like Grady is I struggle calling him a Hall of Famer. I don't think he's quite there, but like all
He's a Ring of
pro,
Honor player, Hall of Very Good.
yes. Yeah.
He doesn't have he doesn't have enough sack production to go to the Hall of
Yeah,
Fame.
but 100% Pro Bowl, all pro type of player. You're not just gonna next man up that. That's not gonna happen.
So Grady, if this happens to find you, we miss you. We wish you a speedy recovery. We hope to see you back next season.
100%, man. Heal up. This has been the Birds of a Feather podcast with your boy Q City.
Your boy Taj Bravado.
We appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, follow us, and come on back. Enjoyed having you. Peace.
Like a chopper, licking like I hit the lotto. I want a hottie like mulatto. I'm on here and she on Moscato. I'm in them good till tomorrow. I'm a robber for the Neros. Your little laws, I'ma put you on payroll. You smell that aroma? Design in the air, it's a party in here. Papa Corona, she moving the body, she working them heels. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what she telling me. Keep a 20 on me, case emergency. I wake up early every morning. Thank the Lord and get the bag. Hustle hard, get the cash. Stack first, then I'm showing my ass. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what she telling me. Keep a 20 on me, case emergency.
My babies, that's who I grind for. That's who I do it for. Like the Navy, that's who I'm toting that iron for. Keep one in the head like a thought, nigga. Yeah, I fuck with Ty, he a boss, nigga. Put on their neck, I exhaust, nigga. Niggas cross me, so I cross, nigga. No stripper was lit last night. 500, what it cost, nigga. Shit was really legit last night. Had them hoes at the house, nigga. Instagram, Snapchat, Triller. What they say about Jay, he a go-getter. Used to have them fat sacks in the grove, nigga. Late nights, early morning, my dough, nigga.
You smell that aroma? Design the air, it's a party in here. Papa Corona, she moving her body, she working them heels. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what she telling me. Keep a 20